Hi.
Closer, so much closer.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay.
More closer.
All right. Jeez.
Make love to it.
Okay. So I'm Tim, and growing up, there were two things you should know about me. One was I had no interest in girls whatsoever. I wanted to be a professional golfer, and I would forsake everything else for my golf game. That was the way I lived my life. I was the varsity captain of our golf team my freshman year, so I was pretty good at it. However, that's not here nor there. The other thing you need to know about me is that my father at the time was the Becker County Sheriff. Okay. So my first job was working at McDonald's. And one day I'm there, and one of my coworkers, we'll call her Mary. Mary comes into work, and she's all scuffed up and disheveled and just out of sorts. And me, out of the total goodness of my heart, with absolutely no bad intentions in mind, go to her and say, hey, what's going on? And she said, my boyfriend broke up with me, and he threw me out of his moving car. And I was just, whoa, just like you guys just did, And so I didn't, I comforted her. What else could a person do? Any decent human being would have done what I did. I just gave her a big hug and told her it'd be all right, and that, geez, the guy threw you out of a car. You're better off without him. Because if that's where the bar starts, imagine when it gets bumped up. Can you say Greg Hardy? I can. So she was going to get a ride home from work with her boyfriend, but since he threw her out of his moving car, that really was no longer an option. I had a car, Pontiac Catalina, 1977, passed everything on the road but a gas station. I'd get $2 in gas in it, and they'd say, fill it up with oil. Owned that car for 4 years, never changed the oil once, just kept replacing it. So anyway, I said, sure, I'll give you a ride home, Mary. And when we were done with work and we closed McDonald's, I started to give her a ride home. And she was telling me on the ride home, gosh, Tim, I really appreciate this. Can I impose on you? Can we just go someplace and talk? And here again, out of the absolute honest-to-God goodness of my heart, with no ill intentions in mind, I told her, why, of course. So we keep driving, and she says, okay, turn here. And I said, all right. And we were then in the entrance of a cornfield. Now, we could still be seen from the road, but not really a lot. So that's where we stopped, and we started to talk. I stopped the car, I raised up the steering wheel, I turned sideways so I could face her, so I could be there for her. I could be really, a good listener. And we started talking, and then she just says again, Tim, can I just give you a hug? And of course. Now, here again, remember, I have no interest in women at this time. I am an uber virgin. So, I give her a hug, and that turned into a kiss, which is as far as I'd ever gone before the age of 16. We'll get there. So before I know it, we're making out, and then all of a sudden, and this is just, to this day, I don't know how it happened, but the next thing you knew, we were both naked, and she was on top of me. So are things rapidly escalating enough? Okay. Because we ain't there yet. So she's naked on top of me, and like I said, I'm really, really naive about all the sex stuff. I did know, A, there is a pill. B, one of us is supposed to take it. C, I don't really know why. Just because. One of those parental things, because I said so. So, wow, and that's how I lost my virginity. And here's where things really escalate. While all this is going on, unbeknownst to us, a sheriff's deputy car drives by. They see, the deputy sees this car with all the windows fogged up, rocking back and forth, and he checks the plates. He calls it in. Now, because I was 16 and stupid, my father put the car in his name, even though I paid for it. So when the guy ran the plates, it came back to his boss. But he decided, maybe I should just give him a call to make sure. So he calls my dad and explains there's a 1977 Pontiac Catalina and it's rocking back and forth. All the windows are fogged up. And my dad just said, okay, don't do anything. Don't disturb them. Don't arrest them. Don't just leave them be. And so he let us be. So after everything's done between Mary and I, we're back into our clothes, and I'm just completely out of my head. Post-coital glow. And so I take her home, and then I go home. And now, at this juncture, I know I'm not going to get any sleep. I'm going to stay up all night reliving this wonderful experience. So, I come in, my parents, we have a split little house. Good night, Mom and Dad. Good night, Mom and Dad. And so I go up to my room, I get dressed, I go into bed. Well, first I wash my face and stuff, I'm not dirty. So I'm laying in my bed, and I hear a knock at the door, and my dad opens it up, and he just peeks his head in, so how was it? I just looked at him with this utter terror, complete and utter terror in my voice and in my mind, and just said, work was fine, Dad. And he looked at me and he's like, no. How was it? All I could do at this juncture was just reply really sheepishly, I'm kind of tired, Dad. I think I'd like to get some sleep. And that's the story of how I lost my virginity.